Hey everyone, it's Joycelyn Wells with Joy Exposed, and it is Wednesday, April 8th, and we're celebrating 1 year. Woohoo! Celebrations, celebrations. Hey Marisa, yay, with your coconut rum. Hi Jasmine, hi Stephanie. So tonight I have got to celebrate with some bubbly Rufino Rosé. It's a sparkling wine, so I'm going to crack this open right now while we get started. So welcome everybody. I figure if we show up, that means we all right in this COVID-19. That's so horrible. But hell, I mean, the truth is the truth, right? So I know my mom and I traveled together for a little while. We've been checking on each other every couple of days to make sure neither one of us coming down with any symptoms. Hi there, Lashandra. Hi, Ayana. Hi, Kim. So I got me some Rufino Rosé. We're going to pop this. Ugh. Cheers to 1 year. I believe this is my 44th episode. So cheers to that. And this is where I'll start. So thank you guys so much for rocking with me. 1 year of Joy Exposed. And I'll talk about it a little bit, how we got started and how we got here. But for now, cheers. Oh, that's pretty good. It's kind of sweet. I don't usually do a rosé, but I can dig it. All right, so let's get started. Three cheers of joy. Got to get started there. So welcome everybody, and this is, I said, my 44th show, 1 year anniversary of Joy Exposed, adult talk show. Um, just, when joy's exposed, everything just feels better. And I usually tell people that when they ask me, what do I talk about? And I say, getting to freedom. Like, that's my goal, is how do I get to be free without being in the stronghold of society's ideas of me as a gift to the universe? How do I continue to manage me? So anyway, so cheers to that. All right, three cheers of joy. So first things first, you guys know 2 weeks ago I did venture to Jacksonville to do a little road trip with my mom. So my first cheer of joy is that I have not gotten any symptoms of the COVID-19. And that's been 14 days now since that, but it's been just about 9 days since I made it back home. So I'm still checking my symptoms, just kind of make sure I'm okay. So, it's all in the reports about people who are suffering and dying because of the COVID and what it looks like. So I'm holding strong. So cheers to that. My second cheer of joy is that I think I'm going to stop asking permission. And I probably don't ask permission. What is it you say? It's better to ask forgiveness than permission. So I think I'm going to stop asking permission. I saw something this morning, and this white American woman, and so I was out exercising, and she and maybe her husband and their baby, who was brown. So I don't know if it was Black American or African, or I don't know the descent of the child. It was just a little baby, maybe a year old, maybe a little younger. But anyway, so they're walking towards me, and I saw them. Well, on this trail that I'm taking around the lake, there are all these ducks and stuff. So we're on the sidewalk. They get off the sidewalk because social distancing, we're maintaining that. So no big deal. But there's a police officer on the road coming. Well, there are a couple of ducks in the road. Well, the police officer decided it was just going to go into the other lane and go around the ducks. Well, this woman, white American woman, was like, she was flustered with the decision from this police officer that she literally got in the street and put her hand up to the police officer to make him stop. And then she proceeded to kind of scoot behind the ducks to make them cross the street. Not that she didn't touch them, but if you move towards them, they're going to move away. And then after she got him on the other side of the street, she came back across with her family and waved the police officer on. And I was like, I don't know that I would have done that. So I've decided I'm going to stop asking permission. Is it okay for me to make sure that these things which the neighborhood has decided were protected are safe, even if it's from that which keeps me safe? So I like that. And I was like, I'm just going to start doing what the hell I'm going to do. I'll ask forgiveness later. But, I like the boldness in it. I was like, now that's privilege. Like, literally, for you to give instruction to the police officer, no, you stop. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So that's my second cheer of joy. I'm no longer asking permission. I'm only asking forgiveness. So cheers to asking for forgiveness and just going for it, right? No more permission from me. So cheers. That's my second cheer of joy. Let's see. My first cheer of joy was no coronavirus symptoms. The second cheer of joy was I'm no longer asking for permission. I'm going to ask for forgiveness. I'm going to do which I believe is right. And then if that's not the right thing or somebody has a problem with it, then I can deal with that after the fact. But I'm no longer stopping. I think I'm going to partake in me a little privilege my damn self. So there's my second cheer of joy. My third cheer of joy is I'm so happy that I take care of my own fingers and toes and hair because it's been a lot of comments about people not being able to go to the salon to get their hair done and not get their nails done and who's going to paint their nails and da 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 da, all of that. So there's a lot of conversation about that. But I've decided that I'm really pleased that I've always taking care of my own fingers and toes. And as of what, almost 4 years ago, my own hair. So cheers to being a pioneer woman during the coronavirus. All natural. I don't have to do anything. I did put on some lipstick today. Uh, Catty Cat gloss. I think this may be Katy Perry. Katy Cat? I don't know. I got it from Walgreens. Yeah, Katy Perry. It's by CoverGirl. It's a little lip gloss. It's like a lipstick though. It's really colorful. But anyway, so my third cheer of joy is that I was already taking care of myself in those things, my hair, my toes, my fingernails, that this didn't necessarily throw a wrench in the way that I do things, other than the fact that I had to pluck my chin. And I don't know if you ladies and gentlemen, I know you gentlemen do, you guys do that on your own, you shave, but as a lady, menopausal, my hair grows on my chin fast. And I was like, damn, I'm going to have a 5 o'clock shadow in this bitch. I need to pluck my chin. So I did have to pluck. I usually get a wax. But I think I've probably had to pluck maybe twice since this whole stay at home thing happened. So as soon as it opens, I'm going to get me a nice wax. Or I've thought about that laser treatment, but I don't really know anybody who's done it, and I'm scared. I don't want the discoloration, right? So I've been plucking the hair out of my chin, so I had to do that. Otherwise, I'd be sitting up here with my little goatee. No, it doesn't grow that much, but it feels like it. Like it's so many little hairs. It feels like it's a lot. So let's review real quick. My first cheer of joy was no symptoms of the coronavirus. My second cheer of joy was I'm going to get me a little bit of privilege around this thing. I'm an American woman and privilege is out there. I'm going to get me a little bit. Now, if I end up in jail, y'all know I was on my privilege shit because somebody's going to have to tell me no. I'm no longer telling myself no. And I'll do it with grace and dignity and elegance. I'm not going to go up there and bogart. I'm going to do it right. But I'm going to get me some of that privilege. You going to hold on, officer. Damn it. I'm trying to get these ducks across the street. I might even do that in the morning when I go walk. And then my third cheer joy is that I'm glad that I'm all natural. I'm glad that I do my own fingers and toes and my own hair and, just kind of take care of my own skin without having to stress about all of these things being closed. So I don't really, a lot of people have been talking about it, but I haven't really had that issue. So that's my third cheer of joy. So my cheers of joy tonight is brought to you by Rufino Rosé. It's a sparkling rosé. It's pretty good. I got it on sale at Target. It was on sale, and then there was a coupon for $2 and off of it. So I ended up getting it for like $12. It's pretty good. I mean, it's bubbly. Like how can you lose with bubbles? So, it's good, and it's for the celebration. I also thought today was kind of interesting because this is the anniversary of the day that I celebrated publishing my first book with a bottle of champagne. And there's a picture on my Facebook for the anniversary where there's a bottle between my toes and it says celebrating the champion. So I figured this must be my time, right? So, celebrations everywhere to that. So cheers to everybody. I also have Eagle Rare, a bourbon I'm going to open. I haven't tried this. It's been nice and sealed. So that's my second thing I'm going to open in a few minutes. Got to, see how I feel after this bubbly. But anyway, so that's that. So those are my three cheers of joy. Who's celebrating with me tonight? Ooh, Varisa said, be careful with that privilege. Girl, I'm going to try to get me some of that. They're going to have to come. They're going to have to get me. I'm going to try to get it. And, yeah, Truth and Valor. That's right. Truth and Valor Cab. Cheers, Chanel. I always think about when we used to sit outside on the steps, Chanel, and drink our Louis Jadot Poulet Foussé. I always think about that because I felt so fancy, but I didn't realize how expensive it was until I started buying it as an adult. Then I was like, dang, were we spending this much for a bottle of, I won't even say what DK used to call it. Were we spending that much with that then? But I guess we were celebrating. So, good evening, everybody. And here, cheers to you guys. And if you're celebrating with something yummy, let me know what it is. Anything good you want me to shout out? I will shout it out. Yeah, so Katie said the bourbon looks amazing. I can't wait to try it. I can't. So I've had it now for about a month, so I'm gonna open it tonight. I also have another bottle of Blanton's, which somebody was selling for $200 on a website. So I was trying to decide if I was gonna open my bottle or if I was gonna sell it for $200 because I didn't pay $200 for it. That's for sure. So anyway, so here you go. So cheers. Oh, and I'm with you, LaShondra. I need the privilege more than the stimulus check, too. You're absolutely right. Let me move. Let me do what I'm going to do. That's right. So cheers, everybody, before we get started on our Facebook post of the week. Let's do this before we get to the Facebook post of the week. Let me give you a little background on Joy Exposed and how this came about. It's been a year, a little more than a year ago, a good friend of mine I used to teach with called me and was asking me about if I would be interested in being a guest on somebody's radio show. So I was like, of course. So I ended up talking to the guy who owned the radio station, and he wanted to give me, put me on the air doing my own show. But when this stuff comes at you and you're new, you don't really know what it means. You just know there's an opportunity to do something, right? So I was really excited about it, and I had like a weekly fee that I had to pay for my airtime, and all of that makes sense to me. So if I'm on the air and I'm being broadcast to people, I should pay for that time until I can start bringing sponsors in, right? So that's how it started. So I worked with him from April until I got back from Italy. So till the end of July, beginning of August, and then I had to sever the relationship because if I was being sold a golden egg, I realized that it wasn't golden, it was gold plated, that kind of thing. So, but all of that is growth. And I understand that he was growing in his company too. And, he had an idea of what was going on and how he was doing it. But then I had my own. First of all, I asked too many freaking questions for a lot of people because they can't stay up far enough ahead of me. They're trying to figure it out, and I'm already ahead of them in what I'm doing. So, so that was really difficult. But I had to sever that relationship, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to continue or if I should stop. And I really spent a couple weeks in that space. But talking about it with Faceless Love is really like my confidant. Like, he is hands down my go-to because he's so even. And he was like, well, you're good at it. You've got a good following. It gives you an opportunity to talk about your topics. And, so he and I talked through it, and I decided, okay, I will keep trying to do it. I'll keep trying. But I didn't realize how much I would figure out on my own, right? So I literally went from doing this remote podcast from here, and the studio was in Atlanta, and I would kind of go back and forth. Had a couple of in-house guests come in, which was really great. I had some great guests, and I'll talk about them too. But I didn't realize how powerful I was and how resourceful I was at the time. And then as I started going on and thinking, figuring out how to get on iTunes, how to get on Spotify, how to get on SoundCloud, how to upload the videos to YouTube, how to build a YouTube audience, how to, like, all of this stuff I'm learning how to do at the same time I'm doing it. So nobody really knows the background stuff. I come on an hour here and that's what you guys see. But after the fact, I have to change the formats, upload to YouTube, put it on my website, put it on this, put it on this. So I'm doing it to make sure that the information is active and out there, and then I'm continually growing. So I think for me, one of the things that really helped is that they just gave me such a huge boost of confidence is when I got the notice from Pandora that the podcast had been picked up on Pandora. Now I listen to Pandora. I talk about it in my books. Like I listen. That's my go-to for years. I've talked about it, and I'm like, my podcast is on Pandora. Oh my god! And even now, I'll go and turn it on. Where I would listen to the radio or listen to something else. I'll put on Joy Exposed because I need the numbers. I need it to show that there's activity there. So I'm really pleased with the distribution of Joy Exposed at this time. So it's growing. I mean, I continue to do the live on Facebook because I'm familiar with Facebook and I love my Facebook family. I've developed such over the past 6-7 years. I was just telling Faceless Love this last night. Over 6-7 years, I've met some awesome people. We've spent time together. We've traveled. We talk. There's been babies. There's been weddings. So I've met some really awesome people on Facebook. So Facebook is like my family, especially considering that I oftentimes talk about how I have always felt by myself. Well, Facebook is the place that I feel a part of a family, that I feel a part of something greater than me. So, so it's really neat for me. So I enjoy that. But anyway, so the relationship ended the relationship, nothing negative, because I don't do a lot of negatives. So we ended the professional relationship, and I just decided I would just keep trying my own, and literally trying on my own, from changing cameras to finding out what this clicking is to just all kinds of stuff that I could be sitting here doing something and I would get a text message from Faceless Love. It's like, hey, change your lighting, or use this light instead of this, or do this and don't do this. And okay, what about this? Like, he's literally watching and kind of guiding, looking at what's going on. And he did that for a long time. And then finally, I think we worked through a lot of the kinks that he didn't have to come to me to say, and I didn't rush to him to say, how was it? How was it? How was it? I needed to know at the end of every Joy Exposed how it was. Like, that was like, was it horrible? Was it, oh my God? And then I'd go back and listen and I think, wow, I really gave out some good information. So that's really a big deal for me, to just have that, to see the growth in the Joy Exposed. And I noticed I'm wearing my shirt that says Joy Exposed. I had this made when I first started my podcast. And it's got the little lady on the front, little Joy on the front. And so I wore this tonight. But I don't wear it anymore because it still has the radio show on the back. So I don't really wear it anymore. So I decided I'd wear it tonight. We're celebrating. So cheers to 1 year of Joy Exposed, 44 episodes. Oh. The thing about the Joy Exposed is that I've been able to talk through a lot of my own fucked up issues. And that's the truth. From, I think, of relationship issues, issues with my parents, issues with my brothers and sisters, because these ideas running around. But on here, I can talk, and by the time I talk through it, I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. That makes sense. So this is like therapy for me. So it's really weird because I sit in a room by myself and talk for an hour, and it's the most cathartic thing that I do, like, all week. Like, I literally just whoosh, let it go. when I first started the show, I started having guests. So I had Skinny C, he's an underground rapper from Atlanta. He's got some dope ass music. And I'll put his page up on my page again because it's up, but it's way back. So Skinny C came and he wanted to come in studio. So I came to Atlanta to sit and talk with him. And I swear we must have talked for 2 hours. Even when the show ended, we still continued to talk. And the funny thing is that we met at Waffle House at the Outcast at last concert. So my friend Carmen and I were going, and he was at Waffle House across from Centennial Park with some of his boys, and that's where we met all those years ago to connect on Instagram, for me to go and follow him and then get a show and then have him come on and to interview him and spend some time with him. So that's been really cool because he's dope ass. He's a great rapper, underground, just really good stuff. So I got to talk to Skinny C. I got to talk to Gigi, and she goes by Gigi Dowell now. So she goes by Gigi. She's just sexy as hell, and she does like a weekend. I can't even I call it the witches weekend, but it's not called that. She does that in New Orleans where they go and spend like 4 days just kind of getting in touch with your self, your natural self outside of anything else. And I remember the thing I remember about the ad is that you're not wearing underclothes. You're free the whole time. You're just free, and you're embracing the way that you feel. You're embracing the way that you smell, and you're embracing the way that you just interact in this environment of um, powers outside that you feel like are outside of you but are a part of you. She does a Atlanta sex Kinked Up Atlanta. That's what it's called. Uh, Kinked Up Atlanta. Who is this? Oh, he said he can't find the link. Okay, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I was just talking about Skinny C. He said he couldn't find it, so let me send this link real quick so I can take care of him. But so Gigi does Kinked Up Atlanta. So if you've heard of that, it's a big weekend in Atlanta where they do um, Kinked Up Atlanta, and it's a whole just a social exploration and understanding who you are. She's a powerful woman. Probably my women crush. So she's one of my women crushes. I enjoy her. So she's there. Let's see if I can find. If I can pin this. I'm sorry, that's me. At the Outcast at last concert. So my friend Carmen and I was just talking about that. Let me see. Share to a group. Oh, Skinny. Oh, let me do copy. Maybe I can send it that way. Anyway, so yes. So I called her name Nicole Ocean Union. So she is a numerologist. She's and I had a great time with her. And I just have these amazingly powerful women who are just so comfortable with who they are. And I think that's the creative in me, drawn to the creative. Look at them like they're a goddess, right? Because they were able to embrace a part of themselves that I was afraid of. And keep in mind, these women are younger than me, but I saw them and I looked up to them and I admired their courage and their strength. So Nicole was on there. Jason J High, he's a visual artist. He draws amazing artwork. I'll have to put his link up too. He was on there, and he and I are friends on Facebook. I actually have a nude picture of me in a swimming pool that I want him to paint. And I've been kicking around that idea for like a year. So I think now that we're on the hiatus, I should let him go ahead and start paying him. I figure I'll have this on my wall, and my grandkids will be like, "Oh, that's my grandmother." This nude picture. So my friend Carla was my first guest. She's from Marietta. She doesn't do any social media. So she was my first guest, and we were teasing her because she doesn't do any social media. Voted one of the most influential women in the metro Atlanta area without social media. She's still that powerful, right? So that was really cool. And I feel like I'm missing one person. Let's see. Let me look real quick and see if I can find it. But yeah, so I just had amazing guests. Oh, Margot is an author. She lives in California. She was on the show too. Now she was on the show when I was in Italy and we were having all of that. She was on the show when I was in Italy, we were having those technical difficulties, so we had to air her show afterwards. So she's an author. She's got a great book. I've read her book, and she actually just published another book. So, but she was on there too. I think that's it because it was about six people. It wasn't a lot of people. By the time I got ready to, by the time I got ready to, my baby, by the time I got ready to really get into it, that's when I had to sever the relationship. No, and maybe I'll do that. Um, maybe I'll do this um, in the next month after we kind of get things underhand because I have some great people that are still interested in coming on. So, but it was to me that was the part of it that um, I brought in because I wasn't sure of myself. So I felt like I'm going to bring in these amazing people. It'll take away from what I don't know or what I'm not doing. And then once I kind of went out on my own, I realized that I needed to be on my own so that I could figure out what I was doing and to build that confidence in me. So all of it's been just a tremendous growth process, and we have and I'm growing a lot, so the guy that I was working with, he's still doing his show, and and I'm still doing mine, and there's mutual respect in it, but I'm learning a lot of myself. That's the thing that I'm really very proud of, that I'm learning so much. So that's a little bit about it. So now we're 1 year in and we're going to move on to the next level. So what does it look like, Joy Exposed, in the second year? So guest, we tried some different things last year, and we'll just continue to try some new stuff. What is it? What do we do? How do we grow our audience? How do we get more followers? How do we get information across to people and it's good information, but some people have to be ready for change to be able to embrace it. And, that's where we are. But it doesn't mean that I stop. It means that I continue, and at some point, the people who love it already. And then there will be other people who grasp a hold of it and then move it forward. But I believe that my role within the universe is to move people to a platform of freedom, and that's what I'm going to do. Right? I have to do my work, and then people will follow. So I believe that, and I'm going to hang on to that idea of it. So cheers to a little bit about Joy Exposed. Adult show. When Joy's exposed, everything feels better. So now we're going to get to some good stuff. So because of that, I'm going to open this bourbon. I've been dying to open it. I'm like, I'm not going to drink all this champagne. I want some bourbon. So this is called Eagle Rare. And it was about $60, maybe $65, I think. So maybe 60, 65. It was my treat for my anniversary for Joy Exposed. So the first thing we have to do is pop the cork. Ooh, it smells good. It smells really good. Katie's my other bourbon drinker on here. So always drinking some. She not always. Hey Joe. Joe's on here too. My bourbon drinkers. So try this and see how this goes. Eagle Rare, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Sounds like I need to go to Kentucky. Sounds good, doesn't it? All right, so let's see. And I'm drinking out of my 50 Years of Joy glass. I'm going to be getting a new one, so I got some ideas. And the Stephanie Specialties, she made this shirt for me too, Joy Exposed. And it was her first time, she said, doing this kind of whatever the artwork is called. But she did a great job. And so I have two of them, so I still wear them. But she's made me some different ones that's got my web address on the back. And I wear those more now too. So anyway, 50 Years of Joy and my Eagle Rare. So happy anniversary. Oh, that's good. And look, I didn't even put any ice in it. Did you guys see that? It's not even any ice. It's just yummy. Oh, maybe I should. It's good. I'm gonna have to say that. Look at my Facebook post of the week. My first Facebook post of the week. I've been saving all kinds of bullshit, just so y'all know. So this is the first one. This is even if we evolve or change, the universe will still rearrange itself. So when as soon as I saw that, I loved it and said, I'm talking about this tonight. So I love this because we don't understand that humans, we're humans. We don't understand the significance of the universe moving forward, right? We think that we gonna do something or not, and that's just gonna determine it. That ain't how that works. The universe gonna do what the universe gonna do. Prime example I always use is a week about with the story of Noah's Ark, where Noah built the ark and the animals came. The funny thing about Noah building the ark, whether he built the ark or not, the animals were coming. It didn't matter. It was the results were going to be the animals were going to show up. They were either going to live in this ark that was built or they're going to die in this great flood. And that was it. So I always try to stress that to people in addressing their purpose. So when I saw this today, I loved it. And she said she got it out of a song called We by Kindred. I was going to say Sly and the Family Stone, but that's not Kindred Soul. Kindred Family Soul. So it's a lyric in one of their songs called We, and I went to listen to it, and it's a great song. It's about 7 years old, but this is so true. So I I think it's so important that we understand that we got to do something. The universe is going to do what it's going to do anyway, and we want the universe moving. We just have to do what we're going to do, right? We got to do. We can't. We don't control the universe. If you fuck up and don't do what you're supposed to do, the universe gonna show up anyway, boo. You're gonna be looking like, damn, I should have built that ark like I was supposed to. I should this. I should have did this. But after the fact, ain't nothing you can do. You just gotta see through it. If not, you just go, hey, death will come, right? That's what that is. So I love that post. Thank you so much, LaShondra, for that. I love seeing that today. And it is a reminder that regardless of everything that's going around us, coronavirus, all this mayhem, and all of this happening around us, it doesn't even matter. We still have to stay focused on the fact that we have a job to do. And the job at this point is to go inside of self to understand where you are and where you're supposed to be and how to make sure that you're up to the challenge. This is right? What does it mean for you to be able to get through the coronavirus? Who are you on the other side of it, and what's demanded of you? So we really don't have a lot of time to waste. Sit and be in reflection, and to take the spiritual gift survey. I push that every week. Take it, see what you feel like when you see it on paper, right? I think that we know we have to move forward. Got we've got person demanding it of us. And we are not, the universe is still going to move around us. We're going to be with it, or we're going to be right. They catch up. So we got to really stay on that. So Craig, yes, this Eagle Rare is good, neat, very good. Thank you. Hi, Maika. Welcome. Thank you, Joyce. Maika has wine. Maika is a model in New York. I love to see her stuff. She is sexy, sexy. But she's also retired. She's a brilliant mind too. So she's one of those women that's like amazingly beautiful and gifted. So you have to just be like, geez, what can't you do? But thank you so much for joining tonight, Maika. I appreciate you. And yes, Katie, vibe with the vibe. So cheers. And this is my Eagle Rare. All right. Next book post. I got some. This don't want to do my post of the week because I got something so juicy to talk about. Whew. That's all right. I'm going to get through it. It's going to be good. All right. So one of my regular listeners, Travis Baugh, he made a post today that I love. You guys know, you when you talk about love to me, when you talk about moving fluid in the universe, when you talk about unconditional love, you got my attention. Like, that's my stuff. This is when I really get involved. So he said, maybe it's okay to tell someone you're in love with them, even if you know they don't feel the same way. Maybe it's okay to just know that they know and let that be enough. Maybe everything doesn't always have to be 100% reciprocal. Maybe we should just allow our feelings to exist in whatever capacity they exist. Maybe we should all recognize that we can't control our feelings, and sometimes they aren't what we want them to be, and that's okay. Man, listen. When I read that, I was like, that's my shit right there. That was one of the most freeing moments for me, to be able to just say what I'm gonna say without expecting somebody to tell somebody, oh my God, I love you, without expecting them to say, I love you back. Just because they have brought these feelings of love to the surface of me. When I found myself years ago waiting for somebody to reciprocate what I was giving, it was probably the emptiest time of my life. Because as much as you give, it always seems like nobody gives that much, right? So that was really hard for me to get to a point okay with my feelings, to be okay with them, just to be okay with me. So this Facebook post of the week was dead on. I was like, bet. This is what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to read it because that's what we have to understand. When somebody makes us feel a certain way, we thank them for that feeling and we keep it moving. We're not thanking them and sitting there and waiting for them to feel the same, because they may not ever feel the same way. And they're may not supposed to. They may be our pit stop in the universe, up some good to move it on our fucking way. Maybe they not supposed to last forever. Maybe they supposed to last in that moment to give you goodness so you can continue on your way. But what we tend to do is to get stuck in that space waiting for to see what we're doing for them, to appreciate us. And that shit don't matter. It's like stopping at the gas station. It don't matter. You fill up your tank and keep it moving. Ain't no reason to sit at the gas station. The gas station will never acknowledge that you're sitting there. They be like, well, that car been sitting there for a minute. Something must be wrong with them. But they're not going to come see what's wrong with the car, right? So we have to remember that when people give us goodness, it's okay for us to move on. It's okay. You don't have to feel bad about it. We're made to feel guilty or obligated of doing something for somebody because of the way they make us feel, when we shouldn't. If someone's given something of themselves at their own volition, we receive and we keep it moving. And I say that, and it's hard. It's a difficult task, a difficult undertaking, but it's true. You have to see people, receive, keep it moving. Keep in mind, you're going to be giving stuff too. You make people feel good too. One of the things that I say about myself, about men, and you guys know how much I love men. One of the things I always say, if a man is in my company, he needs to feel like a man. That means I'm going to defer to him. I'll honor his presence. Now, that don't mean he my man. That don't mean I'm trying to keep him, trying to impress. I'm trying to please him. All that simply says is I recognize I'm in the presence of a man. And as a woman, if I can recognize that I'm in the presence of a man and pull me, like, let me sit there and receive the masculine energy from this man, that's going to put me in good stead as I move along. That's what that is. It's kind of tricky, but it is. It's like, hey, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to be pretty. I'm going to look good. He's going to feel goodness from me. I'm giving off good energy. He's going to give strong masculine energy. I'm going to take it and I'm going to keep it moving. That's one of the things about me. I need a masculine balance. I need men in my life. And I get that from my cigar crew. I get that from guys in my Facebook group. I need masculine energy. Now, before I thought my need for masculine energy was some random sex or dragging somebody in a relationship. That ain't what that shit is. I need to be around strong men and I need to feel like a woman in their presence. And I need for them to feel so powerful in my presence that they can do anything they want to do. So that's how I handle that. So maybe it's manipulation. Maybe I'm just being a woman. Maybe all women do that. I don't know. But I don't compete with men. And I do know when I'm in the presence of them, I'm walking away feeling pretty damn good because I'm collecting that masculine energy. Yeah, I ain't turning nobody away. You want to have a conversation? People weed themselves out in conversations, without us turning them away. They'll know, oh, I can't talk to this lady. She crazy. Or she deeper than what I'm trying to do. But when I'm in the presence of a man, shit, he gonna be like, oh, I'm man today. That he gonna feel it. I ain't gotta say nothing. I'm gonna just be a woman in front of him. I'm gonna just be because I know he got good energy for me. I know he's got good masculine for me. His intentions are belong to him. That ain't got nothing to do with me. What I need when I leave there is to feel powerful in my own right and keep it moving without getting caught up in bullshit with people who mean nothing and spending time sitting at the gas station when all I was supposed to do was fill up and keep it moving. That's what I do. Fill up and keep it moving. Fill up and keep it moving. That's what I do. So I love this post from Travis because it just says, it's okay for you to feel what you feel without waiting on somebody to validate your feelings. If a woman is in love with a man and she tells him, I love you, I want to be with you, and he says, oh, that's nice, thanks. That's I ain't here for you. But a man wouldn't allow her to sit in that space and hope for him to love her back. Men who have reached that level of understanding the power that's in them. But men who are still seeking at this level of self-serving manipulation, they'll let a woman stay in that space. But it's got to be for the woman to understand they're not giving what I'm giving. What I'm giving isn't enough. And I've said it before, I've talked about it. I don't have a problem with it. When I was married to my ex-husband, my whole thought process was I will love him enough to help him understand how to love me. Oh, that's some dumb shit, ain't it? But I was young and I felt like I knew what love was and he didn't. So I thought I would teach him. I would love him so good that he would love me. Shit. That was a gas station. I should have stopped at the gas station and kept it moving. But all right, I'm back, you guys. Sorry about that. So I was freezing really bad, right? So let me back up because I don't know how much I was freezing on and I can splice these together. So I think the last Facebook post of the week that I read was from Nicole talking about the mind is the most powerful tool you have. And so it rolled into me talking about how I realized that me and my mind working at its max was more, hi there, Katie. Hi, Terrence. Me working at my maximum capacity, also including a masculine balance. And I had to get that from, men, like, and not a man, from men. And so I had to rethink the way that I looked at men. And so I was saying before we left, is one of the greatest things I ever learned about myself about people is that every man wasn't trying to fuck me. Like, seriously. But when we grow up, that's what we're taught. We're taught to protect ourselves, and somebody's trying to get you. Not to say that you aren't aware, but most adult men are past that basic carnal phase. They're more in a intimate space. Now, if a man is trying to then you know if you want to or not. But for me, it as much as I was trying to as much as I was trying to give it away is as much as it was they were I was giving it away, but nobody was just trying to get it, right? So it's really, if I wasn't giving it, they weren't getting it. But as long as I gave it, they were okay with it. They were there for it. So that was very important for me to understand the dynamics of the power that I have as a woman, and everybody wasn't trying to get with me, right? So that's a big deal because, that's how we manage ourselves. I spend time, and not a lot of time. I maybe once a month, and now with this coronavirus, even less, but I'll go to my cigar bar in Tampa. You guys have heard me talk about it. And I go sit in there with those guys, and I love being with them. And when I leave there, I feel like I'm a woman. Like, I feel like a part of something that I needed, I got from them. Now, keep in mind, I have faceless love, and you know that I love him, but we're distant apart. And he provides a different balance of me. But for the woman that I am, that constant flow, that influx of masculine energy is important to me. So that means a lot to me. And I've realized that I'm powerful in it. It doesn't have to run me. I run me. I know me. So I kind of balance that. So anyway, I just wanted to follow up with that because we had some technical difficulties and I'll go fix that later. But anyway, thank you guys for rocking out. I appreciate you. Don't forget, I'm drinking Eagle Rare Kentucky whiskey. It's good. I'm drinking it slow too. It's real good. Ooh, it smells so good. Like maybe some oak, some honey, maybe, but not like honey. Not Knob Creek, not that kind of honey, not that much honey, but it's got some sweet something to it. It smells so good. Good Lord. Oh, so that's what I'm drinking tonight, and I'm also drinking Rufino Rosé. So I put that to the side so I could drink the bourbon. Anyway, so let me get going because I was gonna go a little bit longer tonight anyway because it's my anniversary, right? Joy Exposed 1 year. So I was having a conversation with a group of people the other night. Now, I'm in a Facebook group and we're like a family. So we did a Zoom meeting. We're all in there together talking and laughing. And so about a year ago, I invited Faceless Love to get in the group. Not because he was my man, but because I thought he'd enjoy it. And I told him that if he gets in the group, he has to post a picture of himself and he has to be active. And he has been, because that's a big deal for us that you're active in the group. Anyway, so we had a meeting the other night, and the whole Zoom meeting was talking about, guess what? Guess I'm gonna just let anybody guess. Let me see if I get any guesses up. Do, 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 do. No guesses? The whole meeting was talking about anal sex. The whole meeting was talking about how do you tell your partner you're interested in some anal play, whether it's with your mouth or with his finger or penis or whatever. How do you let your partner know you down for that, right? Man, we laughed and oh my god, I think our call started at 9 o'clock and we didn't get off to like 1. So we're on this Zoom call 4 hours talking, laughing. It was hilarious. And so that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, like a little bit before we go. It's like, so what if you and your partner you have a healthy sexual relationship and you decide, I want something else? How do you get what you want? So, my suggestion for getting what you want is to take it. You want it, take it. So you want it, do it to them first and see what they say. That didn't go over very well, right? That didn't go over very well with the group. So some other suggestions came up, and some guys are like, "You better not touch my ass," and guys are wigged out about that because it's a thin line between straight and by. So they try to make sure they stay firmly on the straight side. They don't want no question about it. So I thought that was really funny. And but for me as a sexual being, I think that I'm for pleasure. Like I'm gonna be whatever feels good to me. Right. So it can not feel good and I'm like, okay, I'm passing. But if it feels good, I'm for it. And that's kind of a sexual space that Faceless Love and I exist in, is that I'm very open sexually, and he's had to become open sexually because he was very reserved sexually. And that comes, a lot of men get that. They've been married for years and that kind of thing. So they're very reserved sexually. But once you kind of let the genie out the bottle, they kind of go for whatever they're trying to do. So Stephanie, what's that face you making? So once you take the genie out the bottle, you got to let the genie do what the genie gonna do. So we talked about it, and it was a woman, and she was in a relatively new relationship, a few months, and she was saying that she was saying that she wanted some anal play with her guy, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, let me tell you what to do." The funny thing is, I say this, and Faceless Love don't even like it. Like he ain't even interested at all. Like he's zero interest. He's probably listening to the podcast right now, like whatever. He ain't giving it no extra attention. He's not interested at all. So I just kind of was suggesting to her what she should do to eat, to give some and then to get some. And it was kind of funny. But it makes us, wow, I'm yawning on you guys. It makes us think about what are things that we want in a relationship and we're afraid to ask for it or don't know how to get it because of what the other person may think. Now, if anal play is important to you and you don't like it, or your partner doesn't like it, it's probably going to create some problems in your relationship. I know it seems simple, but if it's something that's important to you and they don't like it and they're not going to do it, it'll create a little rift. I don't know if you can get past it, but it is in fact a problem. So I think you have to address those things. And I thought that was a great conversation to have, especially considering all of us are in a Facebook group and we only get together about 2 or 3 times a year. So to be on that Zoom call and to see everybody's face and the laughter and the openness, and it was a lot of fun. We were on that call for a long ass time. And I think I remember telling you guys a few weeks ago that this friend of mine from undergraduate school was dating a guy that likes for her to wear a strap on when they have sex, like to do it in his booty during sex, right? So, it's a lot of people that are into some interesting things out there. So, there's really not any, you can't really judge them. You're just kind of like, if that were me, like if it were me, could I put on a strap on? I don't think I could, because first of all, I'd be silly laughing and shit. That would be my first thing. Second thing is, I don't know that I would be okay with that. I don't know, because I feel like, first of all, is there any pleasure in me wearing the strap on, or is there any pleasure? I'll use her as an example because it's her. Is there any pleasure in her wearing the strap on if that's if that's what they're trying to do? So I just personally believe that if you're in a sexual situation and you want something yummy and different, how do you get your partner to do it? Your partner wants to please you. Tamara said no. Your partner wants to please you, so your partner is undoubtedly going to do as much as you want. As much as they can figure out to do, they're going to please you. That's the beautiful thing about being with someone who believes that they're in love with you or that they love you. But yeah, I don't think that I could. But I mean, it's not a question. It doesn't any it hasn't been a conversation that we've had. I just thought it was interesting that was a part of our conversation from our our Facebook group Zoom call, was how do you get your partner to participate in some anal play? I don't know. Y'all ain't got no suggestions out there. Nobody. Y'all don't want to give the suggestions because y'all names show up. Just send me a message. I'll talk about it next week. So, cheers to Joy Exposed. 1 year old. We walking up in here. All right, so let's see. That was that call. We talked about that. Oh, we also talked about camping outside. That's a conversation me and Faceless Love is trying to figure out how to see each other because of coronavirus. So we were going to go to a campground and sleep outside in a tent and love on each other because we just need to love on each other. But then we figured out the campground bathrooms and showers and stuff are closed. So we couldn't figure out where we would take a bath and stuff. So that took us back to the drawing board. So we'll figure something out in the next couple of weeks so we can see each other because we miss each other. And yeah, that's a big deal for me. I miss him a lot. Speaking of missing him, oh, let me tell you guys this first. There's on Friday night, I'm reading from my books. You guys know I'm an author. You know, I have 4 books out. So I'm reading from my books, The Virtues of Joy, More Virtues of Joy, and More Virtues of Joy 3. So I'm going to be reading for them on Friday night at 10 o'clock. Now, it's called a bedtime story, and there's an advertisement out. But keep in mind, they're adult bedtime stories. So don't have your kids awake at 10 o'clock because it's adult stuff. So unless you're trying to answer some questions, don't have the babies up. And if you have something you're interested in hearing, if you want to hear like some BDSM or some fancy clubs or some group sex or girl on girl or like whatever the story is you think you have an interest in hearing, let me know. I could probably access something and make that a part of the story. That's if I get requests. Otherwise, I'm gonna read what I want. So that's Friday night at 10. Super sexy, and I'll put a special price up so guys can buy my books. Help me get through the coronavirus. I'm selling books. Like, what you selling? Books. I got books. I got books for sale. So anyway, so that'll be Friday night at 10. So make sure you join in for that. Now, back to what I was saying before. I talked to a guy that was in a Facebook group with me like 6 years ago yesterday, and he asked if he could call me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care, because I'm in a relationship, so even if I weren't, it didn't matter. Yeah, you can call, no big deal, because the whole, what is the thing? Everybody's not trying to fuck you, so it's no big deal if they call you. So he called, and I was like, what's up? You wanted to talk? He's like, man, I'm so happy that you're finally in a relationship. And I didn't, because you don't think of what people think of you when they see you, like in social media, because so many people it's abstract, right? So nobody has direct contact with you. They see you every day, a lot of times. So he went on talking about how he was so happy that I was finally in a relationship. And I was like, well, why? Like, what's the deal? He was like, because you're beautiful and you're smart. He's like, and nobody could ever do anything for you. Nobody could ever get your attention. If nobody could ever get you to go out. And so I was like, people were trying to get me to go out. So we sat up and talked for like 30 minutes with him just talking about how he just knows that the guy who I'm in a relationship with is a good guy. Like, he's like, I just know he has to be this amazing man to be able to deal with you. And I'm like, he is. He's amazing for real. Like, oh my God. He said, yeah. He said, because nobody could buy you anything. Nobody could take you anywhere. Nobody could, get you to do. He's like, whatever you wanted to do, you did. And you just moved effortlessly. And it left a lot of people kind of standing back trying to figure out how to deal with you. He said, and nobody could figure that out. So I thought that was kind of neat that somebody was trying to figure out how to deal with me and didn't have like the confidence to come and try to deal with me, which is lucky for them because I'm not going to sit up and babysit nobody. I'm like, oh, you're afraid. Oh, bless your heart. Stay the hell away from me because I'm not a babysitter. So I thought that was very interesting, especially for him. he thought it was important that he said that to me. So that means obviously that somebody was wishing good for me out of the people that I say that I share in love with, and that I have built these great relationships through Facebook, that somebody was really looking to share in love with me. So, for somebody to looking forward to somebody to share in love with me. And now, and they noticed, because I never, when I think back, if you look at my whole Facebook, I've never posted a picture with me and a guy, so I've never had like those kind of like, this is my man. I never had like these public breakups. I never had like these issues. It's just me smiling, posting pictures of myself, doing my own thing. So I think maybe that could be a little bit intimidating to people that don't know how to get access to, especially starting a conversation. And I nip that shit in the bud quick because I'm not for the BS. So I thought that was really cool that he would call me and say that. And he told me about it, the woman he's dating, and the dynamics of their relationship. So I thought that was interesting too. So, but anyway, that's that. Let me see what else I want to talk about. So my Facebook 3 Cheers of Joy tonight was no coronavirus symptoms. I was going to get me some of that privilege. And then I'm a pioneer woman because I do my own nails and toes and hair. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to talk about. We talked about anal sex. That's always a fun topic because everybody's not interested in anal sex. But it can be a pleasurable experience. I'm going to tell you guys that for sure. It can be definitely a pleasurable experience. And if you want to try it and you don't know how to do it, call me. I'll tell you, walk you through it. The best way to do it. I give advice about it. Oh, I don't know about this working from home thing. I'm not really into that because I feel like if I'm at home, I'm working on my own stuff. I got to get used to that working from home, teaching from home. I know the parents are struggling. Just know the teachers are struggling too. Oh, I know I had a something I wanted to read. Okay. So this is some of the laughs from the coronavirus feed. I'll read a couple of this. It says half of us are going to come out of the quarantine as amazing cooks. The other half will come out with a drinking problem. What's funny about that is that I was just caught in a thread on Facebook where people were talking about they were trying to stop drinking for 24 hours to make sure they were okay. And I was like, I haven't done it yet. So I'm supposed to stop after Joy Exposed tonight for 24 hours to stop drinking. And I know you guys are like, that's easy. Maybe. We gonna see. So tonight, after we finish, I'm gonna stop drinking for 24 hours. Faceless Love did it for 24 hours. One of my Facebook friends did it for 72 hours. She said she was worried because she was trembling and shaking. So she said she had to give herself some extra time. So that was kind of funny. But I mean, what are we supposed to do? We're locked in the house. Um, Still haven't decided where to go to for Easter, the living room or the bedroom. Easter is Sunday. Good Friday is Friday. So we don't have school Good Friday. So I'm not working on Friday. So if you guys want to Zoom or something, let me know. We can Zoom or FaceTime, have us a little partay, smoke a cigar. Hi, LaShondra. I just saw you come on. We can sit outside and smoke a cigar together on Zoom. That would be perfect. Um, let's see what else it says on here. Oh, and I said this last week. So after this quarantine, will the producers of my 600-pound life just find me, or do I have to find them? My body has absorbed so much soap and disinfectant lately that when I pee, it cleans the toilet. So those are kind of funny. So there's a couple, somebody had compiled some of the neat things off of Facebook in reference to the quarantine. Let's see. What else I want to talk about while I'm still on here at 10:20? Um, has anybody literally stopped to think about what you're gonna do after the queen is over? Like what's your point afterwards? Has anybody has anybody stopped to think about why you're chosen to go be in quarantine. Because we're going to lose. So I think, what have we lost? Like 10,000 people now? It's like 10,000 people have died, maybe. So, and I say that because we all get caught up in this moment of chaos and pandemonium. Like, oh, what are we going to do? But we don't realize this is what life does. Like, this is literally survival of the fittest. And if we get to the other side of this, we have to be on our shit. We got to build our ark, right? I think I said that last week. We have to be ready to move forward. So we got to figure out, what are we supposed to do to move forward, right? How do we move forward in the next part after post pandemic? And I always think about that and bring that up because we get so lost in the immediate needs of the things around us, our partners, our kids, our jobs, that we don't know how great we are. We don't understand that we have to deliver to the universe, because the universe is going to continue without us. We don't understand that. So I think it's very important that we sit up and spend some time thinking about what it means to be strong enough to make it through. Survival of the fittest, to be amongst the fittest. Now, if you're amongst the fittest, does that mean that you sacrifice your life and existence for somebody? Hell no. Never. Never. You never have to, you never will even answer questions about that other person. The only questions you have to answer is, where's your, what are you delivering to the universe? So you never do that for anybody. And I think it's going to give people a lot of time to sit and reflect on the fact that they're miserable in the relationships that they're in. Think about it. All of us know a husband or a wife that's married, a husband or a wife that's married, that's miserable in their shit. And think of it, you're miserable and you have to live in a house with somebody you don't like. Ooh, they're having a tough time, I'm sure. So those things are going to have to, people are going to have to recognize the significance of their existence. Emmett just said, I'm not doing anything different. I'll keep on living like I've always been. And you know what, Emmett, the funny thing is, I can see that because your role within the universe isn't halted because of the pandemic. You literally, he's literally in a place that he keeps the United States moving. There's always movement where he works, right? So he doesn't. So there are some people that are in roles that won't change. And they found themselves in that because they realize they're not essential in that they're at the grocery store, at the hospital. They're essential in that what they do keeps the money moving across the United States. And we have several men, women in those roles, right? In during the pandemic. And we want to put emphasis on the frontliners, that, the nurses and the doctors and the firemen and the clerks at the grocery store and the restaurants. So that's where we're putting it, because we put the emphasis there because they're also dealing with people every day. And their roles may or may not change, but they're not in a role that they're going to be in for the rest of their life. It's a temporary role for them. And it also puts them at way more risk than some of the other roles. So I can see where you would say that you're going to continue to live because you found your groove. Faceless Love the same way. He's in his groove. He's like, I'm doing what I'm going to do. But everybody hasn't found a groove. There are a lot of people that still question what they're supposed to be doing because they are afraid of the answer. My mom is 68 and she was afraid to take the spiritual gift survey because she said once she found out, she's afraid of what she has to do. She's 68. So you can imagine how many people are afraid of moving, right? So and that's where I'm saying that people are going to have to make sure that they evaluate where they are and that they step outside of this safe space that they exist in, because it's not where they're supposed to be forever. So LaShondra said, I just wish people will understand they can get outside, just not gather with others. Yeah, I do it. I do it in the morning. I go walking. I walk by myself. I pass a few people walking. We're very respectful of 6 feet. There's this not a big deal. Ain't no sideways glances or anything. but I need to be outside. I need to be in the sunshine. That's a big deal. So if you're feeling like you need to get out, go outside for a walk. Yep, I'm with you. Yeah, and Tamara said the same thing. She went out and had to go get some sunshine. Go out, staying inside makes you crazy. It makes you lose track of time. Hell, yesterday I marked on my calendar that I took a bath. I'm gonna tell you why. Because my days were running into each other that I was like, did I take a bath yesterday or did I take a bath today? Did I take a bath this morning? Like, when did I take a bath? So I literally had to, yesterday, I marked my calendar twice that I took a bath because I took a bath and then I took another bath. That's how I ended up marking it twice. But this morning I had to set my alarm for 6:30 because I was like, I need some normalcy. I need something to remind me what my day looks like because being inside was making me crazy. All of my day, I'm watching TV, and I don't really watch a lot of TV. I'm watching TV. I don't really watch a lot of TV. So I'm watching shows after show after show. I talk on the phone. I go to sleep. I wake up. I watch some TV some more. I do some work. I do this. I go to sleep. It's dark. Well, what? Is it almost morning or is it just 8 o'clock? Like, so I had to literally yesterday, I was like, I'm just going to mark when I take a bath. That'll help me know in my mind that I had a bath today. Because that's a weird feeling if you think about it. If you're not doing anything, you're not clocking into work, you're not leaving at a certain time to get to work, you're not there all day, you're not doing the things that you normally do. When you can lay around for 2, 3 days, you're like, it's the same day. I think Sunday I said I worked. I forgot what I said. I worked, I watched TV, I plucked my chin hair, I painted my toes, I painted my nails, I worked some more, I twisted my hair. I'm like, damn, and it's only 5:30. I'm like, this has been the longest Sunday ever. So it's really taken me some time to get used to what it feels like to be in this closed off space. So my saving grace was I'm going to get up and go walking in the morning. That's something I've always done, and I can still do that. But when I was trying to avoid going outside to minimize exposure, I was trying to stay in the house to minimize it. But I thought, this is going to make me crazier than not getting sunshine, than not getting outside. This is going to make me crazier than not getting any sunshine and sitting outside is like, I got to get the hell out of this house. I need to get the fuck on. Like, I just literally needed that. My body needs the sunlight. Like, so, yeah, but I'm almost in prison in here with my calendar. Put my little X on it. I took a bath. Would you say, Emmett, must be nice to get to sit around and watch TV and sleep? That's too funny because I will take me a nap, baby. I love a good nap. It could be 10 o'clock in the morning. Be up early. I get up early, 5:36, and be like, I'm going to take a nap like 10 o'clock. I'm going to take a nap. Sleep for about 30 minutes. That's my little nap. I'll take me a nap in a minute, baby. Yes, sir. But that's all right. You getting ready to be off tomorrow, right? So you're going to be off. You can nap too. Cheers to naps. Cheers to our first pandemic. Jesus. What pleasurable stuff come out of the pandemic for y'all? Any good things for y'all come out of this time? I got away from some coworkers I didn't necessarily like to work with. So that's a good thing for me. What else? It had to be some other good stuff. I can't think of it. I think I'm just so caught up in the fact that I can't believe we ain't doing all this stuff because of this pandemic. It's got me jacked up. But anyway, let me think of what else I wanted to talk about. We talked about anal sex. That's always fun. Talked about baths, bathing and stuff. That's fun. I haven't really stepped outside of the block to see anybody. I saw Faceless Love. We spent 4 days together, and he's always fun. He's like my, ooh. I was like I was going to drive up to see him the other day. Y'all know I'll be doing shit for no man. I was like, hey, let's meet on Saturday so we can, yeah, but you know, I'm hey, I'm getting how I live, man. Shit, I'm trying. Oh, I was supposed to be a part of this TikTok video. You guys been seeing the really neat videos with everybody changing from their regular clothes to like some were pilots and doctors and strippers. There was some strippers. There was they did couples with like I don't if they call them lesbian couples. I don't know if they call, what the proper term is, but it's two women. One is the masculine and one is the feminine. They had one. So they have all these TikTok videos. I almost did a TikTok video, but I missed the meet and they never caught up. Oh, you missed the crazy customers at your job? Good. Let's see. LaShondra said, my job makes testing for the virus, but always the people who work the area have to be fully covered, and shipping now is 100% checked. Yeah. We one of my Facebook friends wears a band every day. They take their temperature when they come in, put their temperature on their band, and if they have any symptoms or stuff. So I think people are trying to make provisions on how to handle the virus, but we have to figure that out. It'll be over soon. China lifted some of their guidelines, so that's good. So that means at least they're seeing a decline. I think they're saying in the U.S. this is going to be our worst week, and I was worried about New York, but they kind of leveled. They not leveled off. Their numbers decreased on two, I think. So, but it makes sense because New York is a hub of a lot of people coming into the United States. New York moved people between JFK and Newark and the other airport, LaGuardia. They move people from all over the world through there fast as a mother. So I'm not surprised that was a hot spot. And Seattle. Seattle is a big port too, in and out. Big airport in and out too. And then Miami is pretty not as, but yeah, it too. So a hotbed. So we'll see. It's gonna go down. Next week will be better for us. Remember the president saying that said a couple weeks ago you got to come out by Easter, but don't trust trust your CDC guidelines. Don't follow that shit. I'm just saying, we don't have the best leadership in the United States right now, but maybe it's coming soon. Yeah, LaGuardia. So yeah, so follow the CDC's guidelines, stick with your social distancing. And I know we're getting antsy because we're used to coming and going as we please, but what we have to do is going to be safe for everybody. And you got people out there talking about, I'm not afraid of the virus, I can do this. That's selfish as fuck because whether you're afraid of it or not, unless you are your own person, you don't interact with anybody, you're going to expose other people. It's irresponsible. So, be careful of people saying that. And if you're saying that, then stop fucking saying that. You're responsible for other people. I mean, I'm not afraid of dying, but I don't want to put my grandbaby and my daughter and my son-in-law at risk. Hell, I don't want to die. I mean, I'm not afraid of it, but I don't want them to die because I was irresponsible. So we have to be very careful about that. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So it's 10:30. And don't forget, all of my podcasts are downloaded the next couple days on Pandora, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. So you can tune in any of those places to listen to past episodes, and I'd appreciate that. I'm looking for YouTube followers, YouTube subscribers, because I'm trying to get my numbers up so I can get sponsors and monetize the YouTube. So that's my focus right now. So if you know somebody great, tell them follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget Friday night I'm reading from my book, The Virtues of Joy. Really sexy. Wear what you want to wear. Remember, we're on. It's clothing optional. You guys can see me, but I can't see you. I mean, you can send me pictures. I'm open to pictures, but you clothing optional, so you can do what you want. But it's an adult bedtime story. Have you a cocktail, yummy, sexy, fun, and it will arouse parts of you and thoughts in you that you just put to bed, right? But it's gonna be hot. So that's Friday night at 10 o'clock. It's gonna be a And so we'll figure that piece out. I'm just trying to make the most of all of this. So tonight is Joy Exposed anniversary. Yesterday was the Virtues of Joy first anniversary. And it was also what else? Something else. Oh, my daughter's turning 26 this week too. So, yeah, so there's a lot going on in April for me. And in the middle of this pandemic, I've had to cancel some shows and some events and things, but it's okay. I'm going to live through it and gives me more time to be great. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. It's 10:36, so cheers. I'm going to drink the rest of my champagne. And after I finish this and this, that means 50 years of joy. That means I'm going 24 hours, no alcohol. Now, I'll post tomorrow if I drink. Y'all know I don't keep no damn secret. Y'all know I'll tell it. So, cheers to everybody. Thanks for celebrating with me. See you next time. Remember, when joy is exposed, everything just feels better. Bye.